Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots, Season 6, Episode 7, and the name of this episode is Every 6 Months. This was a really good episode, and for starters, let me apologize that this review is late. I had a crazy work week, but I definitely didn't forget about you guys, so I wanted to make sure I let you guys know this is why it's late. But and then also following this, I'm going to be doing If Loving You Was Wrong as well. So check out that review also. So let me begin with this because this was a damn good episode. Now the episode picks up where it left off, where Candace was beating the dog shit out of Quita's ass, and I for one was here for it because Quita has done so much shit that she needed her ass whooped. So I was so happy that Candace was beating her ass because Quita was talking big shit, especially when she was talking about little Quincy, talking about somewhere, at least with me, he was alive. So yeah, she deserved her ass beaten, but the guards came and broke it up, and I was mad because I was like, man, beat her ass, because Candace was on top of her and was tearing her up. The only thing that saved Quita was the fact the guards came and broke it up. But once they pulled Candace out the cell, we actually see that George is there and he wants to talk to her. So he takes her into an interrogation room and starts asking her questions about Quincy Maxwell. And Candace is, you can definitely tell Candace went to law school, because she was not falling for anything that George was trying to throw at her about the whole case. And she pretty much says that, yeah, but, you don't have a warrant, so it doesn't matter. And she says, like, well, you want to see, and then he's like, well, you want to see the evidence that we have? And she's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. And then he shows her Benny's bracelet that was found on the body. And, of course, he still tries to play these mind tricks about, what about Jeffrey? Do you think Jeffrey might actually come forward and actually, will he actually come forward and actually mention how you were involved and possibly someone else? And then pretty much she was like, look, I don't know nothing. It is what it is. I'm not talking. But then he lets her know that she's free to go. And I already knew this was Charles. Charles got people on her, and when they found out she was in jail, he got her out. And then he was like, okay, well, let me, I want you to talk to somebody, but then afterwards, you're free to go. You're free and clear. We don't have anything to keep you here. The guy pretty much recanted, so you're free to go. And then the next thing you know, when George leaves the room, they bring in Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey is mad as hell because he begins to kind of piece together that why that my mother had me go down for Quincy and she didn't include you in it. What kind of deal did you make with my mother? And she's pretty much saying that, look, they're setting us up. That's exactly what they want to do. They want you to snitch so, they can have something to go on. Because we all know George is building the case to take them down. And she's pretty much saying that I didn't do anything. And we can definitely tell that Jeffrey's paranoid and all of that. But I don't feel sorry for Jeffrey's ass. Because, Jeffrey, you're in this situation because you went down to the court when your father told you not to, and Veronica chose to railroad you because she doesn't want to accept the fact that you're gay. That's really what it was all about. And we know that she definitely has to deal with Candace. She's using Candace to get to Erica because Veronica wants to fuck Erica up. So we already know that's going on. So afterwards, she pretty much says that, look, I don't know anything. And she's pretty much telling Jeffrey, you know me. So keep your fucking mouth shut. And I'm just like, yeah, Jeffrey's starting to get on my nerves because, dude, you put yourself in this situation. If you did not go to the court, you wouldn't be in jail. Yeah, Candace is involved, and yeah, Candace ain't snitching. Candace ain't saying nothing. But at the end of the day, you put yourself there, being on some dumb shit. So they finally let her go, and she runs into David. And David goes back and forth like, you really gonna let my son rot in jail for a crime that you and your brother did? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But she says, but I do want to ask you something. What about Oscar? Oh, you're talking about Oscar? He's like, what about him? And he's like, oh yeah, the guy that you pretty much planted for him to fall in love with me and to steal my money. He's like, oh, you mean Jim's money? I was like, oh, so you know about this, huh? She's like, absolutely. And he says that, and if you know about that, what do you think is going to happen now that Jeffrey's involved? You need to think about this. And she says, oh, yes, I've thought about it. And I've thought about this whole situation in biblical proportions and walked away. I'm like, Candace? Candace is alpha blood. And we're going to see what she has in store for David because let's just say she changed the plan after, she ran into David, and David, David pretty much told her off. Then we actually see Landon with Evelyn. Evelyn was the woman that he met on the last episode because Evelyn clocked the BS that Landon's in love with Charles. And if anything, they both go back and forth. And she's pretty much saying, like, well, I hope you got on your poker face, because it's obvious you're in love with the future president. And then he starts clocking her because she's messing around with a married senator. He's like, oh, boo-boo, you messing around with a married senator. You think your morals can judge me right now? She says, I'm not judging. I'm just saying you need to keep your poker face on, and you really need to know that, look, you're in love with this man. And he's straight. Like, bitch, you crazy. And they just go back and forth and everything. And this little one, he's like, man, Evelyn, just go. Just leave. Leave me the hell alone. I'm like, bitch, you can't take it that she's telling you the truth? You can't take the fact that you're in love with this man, and the fact that you hate Candace so much is because you know he's in love with Candace. So I was so happy that Evelyn was clocking this bullshit, but then you could tell that Landon is a little messy bitch, and she in her feelings, and she still is gonna keep trying to push himself onto the future president. Child, man. Then we got Derek and Hannah. They're having tea. Hannah put the kettle on, and pretty much, he starts talking and she smiles. He's like, oh, it looks so nice to see you smile. He said that I saw that when I first met you, I saw that you were so sad. I wanted to hold you. And we can definitely tell there is some chemistry there between Hannah and Derek. And Derek was like, look, we had this tea. What about you let me take you to dinner? And she's like, oh, I thought we were just having coffee. He's like, we were having coffee, but you decided to turn the coffee date into a tea date. So yeah, we're having tea, but I want to take you to dinner. And due to the fact that he is the deacon at St. Matthew's Presbyterian Church, in God in Christ, she chose that she actually agrees to go to dinner with him. So we saw that going on, but then we saw Catherine's ass was eavesdropping, and our ass gonna run and try to read the magazine like she didn't know what was going on. She was like, because before she walked up, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go find this heifer and see what she up to. And she finds Catherine. She's like, Catherine, you was eavesdropping, weren't you? And she's like, no, this heifer wasn't eavesdropping. And they kind of like go back and forth, but she says that girl. But she said I told him not to take me anywhere fancy because I ain't got no clothes to, the fire. And let me shout out my brother, the Jedi, because the Jedi clocked this shit about Hannah's ass. He was saying, how is it that Hannah broke, but she always got money for her bundles? Because I was kind of clocking that too. Like, did you say you ain't got no clothes? But that hair is always straight. You got the latest style, or you got like for some odd reason you got the fake hair galore, but you ain't got no clothes. Really, bitch? So yeah, shout out to my brother the Jedi, because he clocked that out. He clocked that one, and that was funny. I was in stitches when he said that. But but then she was saying that, look, and then like Catherine's like, girl, let me give you a makeover. I can call my friend, and she can help get you together. And she's like, girl, I ain't doing this. I'm going over here to find this lady. You ain't putting me in nothing. I'm like, it's like, you always got to make shit difficult, Hannah. I'm like, girl, you better take it. And trust me, you need a makeover, boo-boo. Let Catherine set your ass up so you can get that man. But the question is there's still question mark is up there, is Derek the one with the lion tattoo? And also possibly, could he be the one that's Candace's father? We just have to keep watching to see what's going to go on with that. But definitely the chemistry is there with them. Then we actually see that Quita gets out, but Oscar was the one that bailed her out. So he bailed her out, but then he had two guards standing outside the door and said that, look, either you give me what I want, or those two officers are going to take you back to jail. I bailed you out. Because she was kind of like, what is it, you like the Godfather or something? Because he just come over, Quita Maxwell. And pretty much, he asked, like, about, the card you stole. What's the pin? And, she at first was kind of like playing around. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, no, you used the card and you got money out of it before. So obviously, you knew the pin. So if you can use it once and use it again, you know what that pin is. And she's like, well, yeah, he did. I did know the pin, but he changed it. So what he did is that he says, okay, here's $500. I may need you for more information. But Quita, with her smug, trifling ass, no, ooh, $500? Shoot, I'll screw a white boy like you for $500. He's like, no, boo-boo. All I want from you is information. I'm like, trust me. Oscar know, like, boo-boo, you at the bottom of the barrel. You ain't gonna never touch this white meat. And I don't blame you, Oscar, because Quita trifling as hell. So then we see one of the guards is actually somebody that's working with Oscar, and he's saying, well, what about my 500? He said that, actually, I'm actually gonna give you 500 more, but I need you to do something else for me. And later on, we find out what that is. So then we actually see that, David, is still, at the jail, and he calls Veronica. And he pretty much saying that, we need to get our son out of jail. And why are you doing this? And Veronica was like, well, hell, he was going to testify against me, so, I just had to beat her to it. And he's like, her who? He's like, your son. I'm like, Veronica, you mean bitch. Still being shady. And he says, and like, David's like, what the hell is wrong with you, woman? Are you drinking? She's like, yeah, I'm drinking every single day. And then she's like, I want to ask you, David, why did you run me off the road? And he's like, what? And he said that, look, it had to be you, Jim, or Catherine. One of you rode me off the road, and when I do find out, I'm coming for you. And she says, oh yeah, and that whore that you messing with, I'm going to chop her up into little pieces. I was like, this bitch was talking big shit to David on the phone. And he's saying that, look, you need to stop your bullshit, woman, and get our son out of jail. And she says that, hey, he's where he belongs. And then she's like, I'm bored with this conversation, and just hangs up on David's ass. So this definitely set David off. So then we actually see that Wyatt actually talks to the bank. We actually find out that, $3,700 was taken out of his account. And, pretty much they said that, okay, we can actually, we can actually save your account, but we need a police report that your money was stolen. So he says, okay, I'll call the police. So he calls the police, but Oscar answers as the police officer, and he was saying that, look, you just give me your account information, we can take care of it right now. And he's like, oh no, I'll come down to the station. So he's like, okay. Don't even realize that he's being marked. See, Wyatt is doing all this shit to want to take down his family, but Wyatt's a fucking idiot, because if he takes down Catherine and Jim, Wyatt ain't gonna have shit, and he's literally going to fall the fuck apart. So you turning on your family is the worst thing for you. Then we get the scene where Mitch and Benny go see Mitch's uncle, Uncle Vin. And we already get off the bat that Uncle Vin is racist, he's smug, and he's all about his money. And if anything, like when they first sit down and talk to him, he completely just dismissed Benny, didn't shake his hand, and pretty much says, "Oh no, from the looks of you, you can't back up nothing, so I ain't giving you no loan." But then Mitch called him out like, "Look, this damn racism, that's not cool." And he's like, and then if anything, after what his sister did for us, and they talk about Candace delivering war to them. And he's like, yeah, we owe her, actually, for that. I'm glad that she did that. But then, so then he asks us, okay, do okay with that. How much, what you want? He said he wanted a tow truck, and he asked for $45,000. So he says, okay, I'll give you $25,000, but with 25% interest, and that's a discount, because we normally charge higher than that. And he says, I want $18,000 every 6 months. And he says, yeah, let him know, Mitch, of how we get down if you don't make that money. And, Benny's like, okay, do I need to sign something? He's like, no, the only ink we have is blood. So I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. Here it is, you done made a deal with the mob, and they asking for $18,000 every 6 months, and you got 25% interest added onto the money that you borrowed. Like, and then like Benny is just, I was just done. I was just so through with that. But then after it, he gets a call from Veronica. Veronica lets them know, yeah, because also in the conversation that Veronica had with David, he lets her know that here it is, you got our son in jail for something that Candace and her brother did. So she calls Benny to let him know that, look, my husband knows about you being involved in the whole Quincy Maxwell situation. You need to come to my house. So, they actually leave and they go there. Then we see that after Candace gets out of jail, she pays a visit to Miss Erica at that new mansion. And Erica, still being fake as hell, like, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? And she's like, bitch, you want me to slap you? I was like, she said that, you know what? I'm about to scratch something. See, the $100,000, scratch that. I don't need that now. She says, I want everything. I want all of his accounts. I want his blood type. I want his birth certificate. I want everything on David Harrington. And you better get it, because you don't have much time. So she done pretty much put it all on Erica that, yeah, I want everything on David Harrington. So yeah, she's like, she thought about it in biblical proportions, like the same way you did me, I'm going to get you back the same way. So she's like, I want all of his information. So we're going to see what Candace's going to do with that, but that's going to be interesting. Then we see, Landon and Charles. Landon is still kissing Charles' ass. Oh, you're so amazing. You're so great. You're going to be a phenomenal president. He's saying that, yeah. And then Charles is like, yeah, it's going to be a good 4 years. He's like, bump that, 8 years. You're definitely going to get a second term. No doubt about it. You're amazing. And then this fool, that damn Landon and her trifling, slutty ass, goes down to try to take off Charles's shoes, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to remove your shoes." He's like, "I don't need you to take my shoes off of me, dude." And I was just like, yo, Landon, you are literally making a fucking fool of yourself, bruh. Like, you are literally trying to throw yourself onto a straight man. And you're only gonna get a hard egg in a situation like that. And, you know, pretty much, but then he tells Landon that he needs his help. He wants his kids to have as much normalcy as possible. And, you know, I don't want my children to be subjected, you know, to the press or anything like that. And I'm thinking, as shrewd as that damn Landon is, how do we know that he ain't gonna try to use that shit against Charles at the, you know, to get what he want out of Charles? I'm saying, we're gonna have to see how this shit plays out. But we can definitely tell from Charles's reaction, he knows Landon wants him. He knows, and he's playing with him because that's what Charles does. Charles, I think, is straight, but he's just messing with Landon because Landon done put himself out there, and he's he's pretty much such a weak slut that he's just having fun with him. And I'm just like, I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen next with that, because, you know, Evelyn done already clocked the fact that Landon's in love with Charles, and like Charles also knows it because he's seeing, you know, Landon's mannerisms and how the way Landon is just all on him. He knows, and that's why I'm sticking with. Charles knows about Landon and what Landon up to, but he playing with him, and we've definitely seen how he flipped the shit on Candace. He likes to play games like that, so just keep watching. Then we see that Wyatt goes to the precinct to do a police report. Oscar sees him go in, and the officer that he has to go in is the same officer. His name is Jonathan, the same one he met when he was dealing with Quita. He goes to talk to Wyatt, and he says, "Okay, we can take care of everything. We just need all your information, but then but we can actually get your phone. We can track it better." So he gives him the phone, and he gives the phone to Oscar, and Oscar gives him $1,000. So, Wyatt, you have been marked. And the whole idea is that they're going to take the money and they're going to wire all that money back to Jim. So, you done fucked up, Wyatt. Then we see with Jim, we have a scene with Jim at the hotel. Damn Sarah comes in with all of the evidence that tied, you know, about the whole case, you know, involving Jennifer Salison and all of that. And so pretty much all they have. And then also the whole thing with little Lizzie and hitting Benny, that whole case. So she pretty much gave him all the evidence. So the only thing he got is the testimony of Wyatt. And now that shit's out the window because now Wyatt, they don't have any evidence to go on. So it's just like you talking to hot air. And we see all this going on, and she's like, "Are we even? Are we even?" And he was like, "No, why would I do that? I like taking advantage of you." I'm like, "Jim, you're an asshole." And then he pretty much told her that, "Look, why don't you go home and make you a drink? Everything is cool, but if I need you, I'll let you know." And she's just standing there like, and he's just like, "Go home. Look, you make me wish I had somebody. Get out." I'm like, Jim, that shit gonna come back to bite you with your mean ass, but we're starting to see even more. Jim has always been an asshole. It's just that when he got with Catherine, it just magnified. So he's always been an asshole, but he just became an asshole with money. See, money can either make you better or make you worse. We see with Jim, it made him more than an asshole because he now had cushion to be an asshole. But we're saying that even before he got all the money, Jim was just as smug and is just as much of a narcissistic bastard as he is now. So that shit was crazy because I'm like, you gonna keep fucking with Sarah? Sarah gonna do something. You know, these hoes ain't loyal. Just saying. So then we actually see, you know, the door, and somebody knocks on Veronica's door. Veronica's like, okay, I'll get it, and then Melissa's like, hell yeah, you are. And she's like, and then like, you know, they go back and forth, and you know, she's like, you know what, I'm getting real sick of your ass. And then Melissa's like, yeah, and I'm getting real sick of you too. And she kind of grabs her. She's like, ow. She's like, I swear, if I wasn't pregnant. Yeah, I know. And she goes to answer the door, and it's Benny. And of course, Melissa's throwing herself like, hi, Benny. And also Benny's like, sup. I'm like, yo, Benny is checked like shit, and then like Veronica's like, look, I really need to talk to you. Let's go upstairs. And then all of a sudden, also Melissa's like, be careful, Benny, that old stuff will get you. Just as tired and worn out. Oh my, Melissa's bitch. She is coming for Veronica so much, and I'm so here for it. But Veronica, you created this monster, so it is what it is. So they go upstairs, and she talks to Benny. Of course, Benny's, you know, worried about, you know, the fact that he could go to jail and all that. But she says, no, I got it taken care of. I'm going to handle it. Next thing you know, they start getting all cozy with each other, and, you know, and he's like, come on, Miss Harrington. I'm like, Benny. So you literally were just having sex with you were just having sex with Melissa not too long ago, and now Veronica throwing herself at you, and here it is, you're still, I can't. But then she kind of like, well, it seems to me that your body's saying something else. And she's like, yeah, get naked. And next you know, he takes off his shirt, and I'm like, Benny about to bang her out. And I'm like, because we know Benny got a hot dick, and Benny's ready to fuck at any moment. Then all of a sudden, there's another knock on the door, and Melissa's like, damn, how many of these visitors is this bitch gonna have today? What the hell? Come in! Oh shit! Melissa gives no fuck. And it's David, and he's like, and she's like, hello, and she says, where's Veronica? And she's like, I said hello. and she's like, sorry, hello, Melissa. Where's Veronica? She's like, she's upstairs. As a matter of fact, let me take you to her. So she goes, and then she goes to she takes him upstairs to Veronica's room. We see the door is locked, so she gets the key, and she's like, you know, and then all of a sudden he's like, and she's like, okay, but I got the key, don't worry. And she goes to unlock the door. He's like, well, don't you think that's, you know, avoiding, and don't you think that's violating her privacy? And she's like, what do you care? And she opens the door, and they see Veronica and Benny in bed together, and Benny is digging her out, and both Melissa and David are at the door, and you know, he's seeing all that go on, and it's like David is just like, what the fuck? So I'm like, Benny, you done got yourself into some more mess with your dumb ass. And Melissa, you wrong as fuck, because you knew they was upstairs fucking, and you went in there deliberately to fuck it up, because you want Benny for yourself. So I just thought that shit was just hilarious, but that was a damn good ending. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. You can find those links in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of The Haves and the Have-Nots. So until next time, everybody, take care.